Hey everybody, it's Liz from the Lemon Bowl, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of my most popular recipes of all time, almond flour blueberry muffins. You guys, these are so good. I promise once you make it, you're going to make them again and again with whatever fruit you have on hand. So let's get started. First, the star ingredient, almond flour. If you're not familiar, almond flour is a naturally gluten-free flour, so it's a great alternative to all-purpose flour or whole wheat flour if you do have a gluten sensitivity. Even if you don't, it's high protein, low carb, but also just really delicious. Like almonds, it's super nutty, it's almost buttery, has a really light texture, so I love baking with almond flour. All you do is you take one bowl and you start with all your dry ingredients. So we've got the almond flour already in there. We're gonna add salt. Always need salt when you bake, and then a little baking soda. That's it for dry ingredients. You just whisk that up. Now look, you could do this in a stand mixer if you wish, but I just use 2 bowls. It's not that big of a batch. It's not very hard to do on your own, so I just use 2 bowls. Okay, dry goods are all set. Now we're gonna mix together all the wet ingredients in a separate bowl. To start, we're gonna use 2 egg whites and 2 eggs. Now guys, if you don't want to use 4 eggs, which that does require, just do 3 total eggs. Now the other ingredient that I use whenever, I do this quite a bit actually, whenever I bake with fruit, is I like to add a little lemon juice and zest. I find that the citrus and the brightness of lemon just really balances out the sweet, juicy fruit flavors. Okay, I've got my eggs in. Lemon juice is next. A little lemon zest. Pro tip, zest the lemon before you juice it. Okay, now, some vanilla. And then the final 2, a little olive oil, not much guys. And then lastly, to lightly sweeten, some honey. All right, so now we're just gonna whisk all the wet ingredients up before we incorporate them into the dry. And like I said, I'm using blueberries today, but you guys, you could use peaches, bananas, apples, probably pumpkin. I haven't done pumpkin yet, but maybe we'll play with that this fall. All right, so you whisk all this together, and then you're gonna just basically fold it into the dry. Now, when it comes to the berries, fresh or frozen are both totally fine. So right now it happens to be blueberry season. We have fresh laying around, but if you don't, frozen berries are perfect. In fact, you could use raspberries, you could use strawberries, you could use blackberries, or a mixture of mixed berries. All right. You can already tell how just buttery, creamy, light, and fluffy these muffins are going to be. And again, they're naturally gluten-free, high protein, and low carb. So when you're looking for a healthier muffin recipe, this is definitely going to be your winner. So I've got some fresh blueberries here. I'm gonna basically lightly fold them into the batter. And the reason being is you don't wanna overmix, because you don't wanna burst the blueberries or have them pop. And then, because what happens then is the batter just gets all blue, and I just like to gently fold them. They're delicate little berries. You've got to go easy on them. I can already smell the lemon zest is just permeating this kitchen right now. These muffins are going to be so delicious. Okay, that's good to go. Now you take your muffin pan. Now, pro tip here, I love to use a cookie scoop when I'm portioning out muffin batter. But you could certainly use some tablespoons. And I like to fill them about, a half to 2/3 full. These aren't going to be those giant bakery muffins that you see and, it's basically like eating a small piece of cake. These are definitely gonna be more medium-sized muffins. So to make sure I get them all even, I start almost just by filling them a little bit half full. And then I'll go back and just even out the batter to all 12. But you will end up with 12 muffins. Okay, now, right before baking, I like to just take a few blueberries and put them on top. Again, guys, this is just for visual purposes. You don't have to do this, but we eat with our eyes, so I just think a few little blueberries on top. I know it'll make my kids want to eat these, so it can't hurt. All right, these are good to pop in the oven, and we'll see what happens next. Okay, guys, the blueberry muffins are out of the oven. They're hot. They're ready to be eaten. Oh, they smell so good. So you guys, I cannot wait to have a bite of this, but I want to tell you how to store these. These will store about, I would say, 3 days, honestly, at room temperature is completely fine. If you want to put them in the refrigerator to make them last a little longer, they'll last up to 7 days. When I store them, I like to wrap them in plastic wrap individually. The goal with anything that you're trying to keep fresh is just to keep the air out, so you want to wrap it tightly. Also, you want to freeze these muffins? No problem. Wrap them individually in plastic wrap, put them in a big plastic bag, and they'll be good for up to 3 months. I want to dive in so badly. Oh my God. The blueberries are so sweet, so juicy. You guys, this almond flour, it almost tastes like butter. It's so naturally buttery tasting, even though there's no butter in these muffins. Super nutty, very aromatic, moist, fluffy, everything you want in a blueberry muffin. And again, there's no all-purpose flour, there's no oil, there's olive oil, there's no vegetable oil, so it's all healthy fats, including the almond flour. Really good for you, really delicious, perfect for packing in lunches, perfect for snacking on the go. Please make them. Head to thelemonbowl.com for the full recipe. And you guys, if you're on Instagram making these, tag me. I want to see what you're up to. I want to see your creations in the kitchen at The Lemon Bowl. I'd love to see what you're doing.